Tems. You know, the last episode you had your moments. You really showed like you really like Tems. Tems. You know, for real.
Tems and conditions.
100. You said 100. I love Tems. 100. You know,
we don't hear you now. What happened? No set me up, bros.
But Tems has got Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are at. Yeah, we're your guys at the junction, and we're here for another, gist. Let's gist you.
Blasting your screens.
Yeah, you know how we roll. Nice, you know how we roll. Yeah. Yeah, what's up?
I'm good. I'm good, my nigga. Good to see you.
What's popping?
Nothing much.
What's popping? Yeah. It's been a lot. You know, I mean, I think we took a break. We took like 1 week break.
Yeah.
You know,
we needed to breathe.
Yeah, we needed to breathe a little. You know, and there's been a lot of sporting events. You know, even when I thought that okay, the NBA is over, the your own premiership is over, and stuff.
Champions League done.
But now they're actually playing a lot of sporting events and stuff. And all. What about that? I know for one that basketball. There is the qualifiers for the Olympics, for the Winter Olympics. Is it winter? No, Summer Olympics. I think it's Summer Olympics. Whatever Olympics, but the male Olympics, yeah. So I mean, I know that Giannis won Slovenia. Luka Doncic, Giannis won because they didn't qualify. They didn't have that first go round qualification, and also they had to fight for it. So they
qualified. What do you mean Giannis won? Like, was it Giannis that played?
Greece now. He's the only one that I know. Do I know Greece?
Was it the only one that played?
I don't know Greece now. It's Giannis and company that I know.
What do you mean by I don't know Greece?
I don't know
That's
Greece
now.
That's
a full complement of a country.
Yeah.
Playing
Oh well. I mean,
10 players on a team.
Giannis is my boy. You know, I know Giannis. I don't know the rest of them. I cannot be bothered.
That's not sportsmanship.
That's not sportsmanship.
That's not sportsman-like of you.
Yeah, but I know Nigeria. I think Nigeria qualified.
For the Olympics.
Yeah, for the
basketball.
Olympics. Yeah. We always qualify because we try to qualify anyway.
Well, like really good in Africa.
Yeah, but there is another sporting event that is going. Football.
The Euros.
Yeah. So what about that? They said. Recently Ronaldo was crying. What was he crying about?
Let's not even talk about Ronaldo because I'm short of words. Like, Mans is a legend, no doubt, He's done great stuff for like 2 decades, I think he should have just borrowed a leaf from another fellow legend, Toni Kroos, who was also retired, by the way, this season. You've done so well. You've broken so many records. He's been an instrumental part of a country that defied all odds to win the Euros in 2016 with Portugal, right? That could have been his crowning moment to say, listen, I was one of the greatest of all times. I was able to get a team that was largely underperforming like Portugal and get them to win a major tournament. At the time when his biggest competitor, Lionel Messi, wasn't able to win something major with Argentina, right? So I think with time, you can't cheat Mother Nature, right? My man's 39 years old. He can't run as fast as he used to. He can't shoot as well as he used to. He can't keep the ball as well as he used to. Every time he got the chance to take a pace with the ball or something, defenders will catch up to him in 2 seconds and just brush him aside. So why are you still trying to defy what's already been decided?
Father time.
Right? And he's such an obstruction to the other players, the younger players in the squad. He wants to take all the free kicks. He wants to take all the penalty kicks. He wants to be the one carrying the team. But bro, time has gone. That's past you. Just let it go.
Yeah, I think it's his competitive side, that refused to give up. But like you said, Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated, bro.
Ronaldo needs to kind of chill, roll it back.
Yeah.
I think he's still he's trying to chase Messi because Messi has a World Cup,
he's done.
I don't know.
He's done.
Yeah, but Ronaldo has done well. You know, I mean, he's a professional to the core. And, and nobody can, you know, in the context of football, I mean, me that don't even follow football like that, you know, in the context of football, nobody can, I don't know how many people can say they're standing shoulder to shoulder with Ronaldo.
Yeah.
You know, so.
The legend of the game. Yeah. You know, let's wrap it up while the ovation is high, because the ovation is already beginning to dwindle little by little, right?
Yeah. Though Messi is better than Ronaldo, we know that. Messi is better than Ronaldo.
I know you're trying to find drags. I know you're trying to find drags, but you're not going to start that right now with me. I mean, Messi is a GOT. Ronaldo is also a GOT. Like, sorry, GOAT.
GOAT, right?
So let's just leave it at that and settle it that way.
Yeah, it is what it is for the sporting fans, you know. I mean, you guys can just enjoy yourself. You know?
I mean, it's Euro semifinals, right? I think there's France, Netherlands, Spain, and what's the last country now? Yeah, I can't remember, but it's going to be a very, very tough one because like the major teams that we all expect to get to this stage are there. So it's going to be a big banger. Who are you expecting to win? England. I think England is 4-1.
Okay, is England there?
Yeah, England. Yeah.
To be sincere with you, I don't really know the teams, but I know, is Messi there?
No, Messi's playing Copa America.
Okay, because I know Messi too was playing.
Yeah. That's a different tournament. Copa America is like the South American tournament.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not rooting for anybody. I don't know. Yeah. Whoever wins.
Okay.
But I'm rooting for Messi wherever he is.
I'm
rooting for Messi.
Anyways, I'm going to be rooting for, who am I rooting for? My Madrid boys, obviously. Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe, and
Mbappe playing?
Jude Bellingham. Yes, Mbappe is going to be playing with France in the semifinals. Jude Bellingham is playing with England. So either of the two, you know, that picks it up, fine by me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, to the sporting fans, you know, you guys enjoy yourself, you know. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of catching up to do with all the football and all the basketball. Me, I'm even trying because I'm not really about the FIBA stuff and all. But when I saw Giannis, I was like, yeah, let's go, you know, and all. Yeah. Let's get into our topic for today.
Get into it.
Know, there are different stuff that has happened. You know, there's a Samoa, you know, deal that Bagudu, Baba Bagudu, Minister for budgeting and stuff,
budget and economic
planning and stuff. Yeah. He signed a contract. Is it contract or an agreement?
Yeah.
You know, the Samoa agreement with the EU and stuff, and people have been shouting. There is a Kenya protests. There is the Elon Musk calling out Bill Gates on X. You know, Elon Musk is really flexing now, you know, because he owns X now. He can decide to call anybody out. Yeah. So he's calling Bill Gates out. And then there is your babe, Tems.
Girl.
Yeah. Tems. What are we going to do about Tems?
Similarly, Tems. Yeah, that's
you know, they said she got an award, you know, and people are, you know, I mean, raising dust like.
Very strange category.
You know, I know, very, very strange category, you know. Yeah, so, I mean, let's start with the Samoa deal signing. Okay. You know, what about it? What, I mean, have you done any stuff on it?
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it and,
the LGBTQXYZ, plus. Whatever.
It's very interesting. I think there are some people that are just trying to be mischievous. Yeah. I think it's kind of good because it's like opposition is rising, right? Obviously, this is driven by some opposition wing that wants to take any opportunity to drag the government, right? And stress them out. That's what it looks like to me. I took some time to, you know, look at what this agreement is all about, right? And I found out that it's not even it's not anything new. The agreement between the EU and the Organization of African, Pacific, and Caribbean States is one that spans over 40 years. Going way back to 1975, a similar agreement was signed between both parties. Then it was in Lomé. In 2000, that's like 25 years later, thereabout, a similar agreement was signed I think it was Cotonou. So I think what they do is every 20 years, they come together, they revise the agreement, and then they put pen to paper. And I try to ask myself, okay, right now, the old noise is around the LGBTQ element of the agreement. and how some people are saying, oh, is the Tinubu administration trying to quietly, sign in LGBTQ rights into the country without, doing the due process of getting the National Assembly to ratify such a move? Because don't forget, as far as the Constitution is concerned today, it is against the law for same-sex marriages in Nigeria.
That's the 2014.
Signed by President Jonathan signed into 2014 to law. So, if we are signing an agreement now with the EU that sort of advocate for some LGBTQ rights as a precondition to the agreement, which one is going to take precedence? That's what the argument is. And for me, I want to go away from the way we've microscoped the LGBTQ issue and look at the broader conversation of the Samoa Agreement, right? It's essentially a document that tries to discuss how these countries, that's African countries, the Pacific countries, the Caribbean countries, how they work together with the EU to promote key agendas: gender equality, economic development, democracy, investment, social growth, and all those kind of stuff, human development goals, right? That's like the overarching aim of this agreement, right? The LGBTQ thing is just a part of the whole set of what this agreement aims to achieve, right? And I want to be a bit sympathetic to the government because in truth, that agreement did have some LGBTQ clauses. As at 2023, when the document was first presented to all these parties, some countries signed it, but Nigeria didn't sign it because of the LGBTQ part of the agreement, right? Yeah. Because that was going to be a direct contravention with what our current law says. So, as at November 2023, the document was not signed. The ministers that had gone, I think it was a tripartite committee of ministers. I think the Minister of Justice was there. The Minister of Finance was there. Minister of Budget and Planning too was there, thereabout. About 3 or 4 ministers were in attendance, and they said, look, we can't put pen to paper to this agreement because this LGBTQ clause is in contravention with what our current law states concerning same-sex marriage. So we need to do some bit of dialogue, find out where the landing spot is. So what the agreement that's been signed now, just in June 28th, 2024, what we are being told by Atiku Bagudu, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, is saying they have expunged any conditions or clauses in the agreement that is going to be in contravention with our law. And one of those major clauses that has been sort of taken out of the agreement is the LGBTQ clause or requirement, right? So, and they've come forward to say, listen, the documentation is going to be made available publicly so that all of you guys can read it and see for yourself that, Tinubu is not trying to, agree to, those terms, just because we're trying to get aid from the EU. So the propagandists and the media guys who are, trying to, I think the Daily Trust is one of the major newspaper outlets that were, pushing that agenda, Tinubu is about to LGBTQI Nigeria. And then they're saying these guys are just being mischievous, really, because that's not what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the question that I want to ask is, why are these guys doing these things? The European Union, because they always have these holier than thou type of, aura about themselves, trying to save the world, trying to save Africa. And, we know what comes out of Africa into Europe. We know about, Mali, is it Niger? Niger Republic, that, had a coup and stuff and all the things that are happening around that area. Yeah. And the damning reports that allegedly that they said the French, rip them off, as it pertains, to their Commonwealth and stuff and all.
Resources.
Yeah. So, and then they come with this aura of, we're trying to save Africa and all. And that's the question that I ask, what are we doing as Africans, to actually also, put our feet on the ground and say, okay, what are the bargaining chips? that you're bringing to the table, and how can we, bilaterally, exchange, as it pertains to our own resources and stuff and all, so me, I just don't like this savior type of, person. I mean, savior type of, aura that they bring, to come and save us. You're not really saving us. When it comes down to it, we know that you guys are taking a lot of mineral resources away from Africa, and all. And, let's call it what it is. What are we? I mean, I can say it's actually trade by barter. Really, trade by barter. But who is gaining what? Now, that's the question, really. So for me, the question that I'm going to ask is, should Africa continue to go cap in hand, and, what's it called? Presenting ourselves as if, we are being saved, we are being rescued. I'm not saying, we shouldn't do bilateral trade or what have you, no. But what I'm saying is that, how do we present ourselves, in a way that doesn't even make us look as if, we're just getting handouts, from, the European Union or from the US or whatever the case is and stuff. Yeah. So for me, those are the things, it's a rhetorical question. I'm not like asking, for answers and stuff, but I'm just putting it out there, and all that. We as Africans, how do we present ourselves? I know we know our leaders have been some of the worst that any nation can ask for, and they've actually not served us well, and I think all these things should also make us to sit back and ask ourselves, how can we better serve ourselves? Because this has always been my own campaign and my own thoughts, and all, because I know that we have enough resources. We have all it takes to make, Africa, Nigeria specifically, because that's my own constituency, how to make Nigeria the best that anybody can ask for, and all. We have the good, landscape. We have good weather. We have good everything and all, but we have been plagued by our leaders, and all. And that's the reason why we will keep going back to these people. And then they will keep giving us loans. They'll keep giving us handouts, and all. And you know what it means when you are always the one that is taking handouts? You know what that means? You're always like that, cap in hand, and all. So for me, those are the things that I'm just kind of looking at, and all. Like I said, I'm not asking any questions, but if you think, there's anything that you can say to that, but that's just my own, that's my own take about it.
I think you make a valid point. Because, just going back to what I said earlier, this is an agreement that way back 1975 has been in existence. That's about 40 years already, right?
Yeah.
The agreement was renewed in 2000. Now it's 2024. The terms of this Samoa agreement is for another 20 years. So what does that tell you? That for 60 years, Africa, the Caribbeans, and what's the last one? The Pacific region, are essentially going to be relying on Europe to hold them towards wherever their destination is. That does not spell growth.
Yeah, exactly.
That does not spell development.
Exactly.
That does not spell progress. It's okay if the European Union say, okay, because we are the ones who have we've passed this road before, maybe we know how to get to the promised land faster. Let's show you one or two things. You sign a 20-year agreement. After 20 years, you should have learned the ropes now. After 20 years, you should have understood one or two things that you can start doing by yourself now. You can't tell me that 40 years later, we're still fighting over Samoa agreement, whether there's LGBTQ or there's no LGBTQ. Like, where are we really heading to as a continent? You know, and that's where I agree with you. Like, the argument should not be whether there's LGBTQ clause or not. What we should even be focusing on is that why on earth are we still signing agreements where we are relying on the EU to give us a roadmap for how they're going to help us to promote our democracy, for how they're going to help us to promote gender equality, for how they're going to help us to promote social growth and human capital development? Like, it's 45 years has already passed since 1975, and now are you telling us that as at now, Africa shouldn't be in a position where they are also doing what EU is doing now for other people?
Exactly.
You know, so I think that's what we should be thinking in terms of the consciousness of the people and even our leaders. Like, we shouldn't be trying to explain, you know, why we signed the agreement and how the agreement is beneficial for us. In my opinion, we should be covering our faces in shame and saying that the fact that we still even need to be relying on this agreement so that we can specify economic trade terms and, specify bilateral agreements with Europe, it still shows that we need these guys.
Yeah,
and for me, that's not progress, really.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, what our leaders are doing to us, we don't deserve all these things. Nigeria is a rich country. Nigeria is a rich country because I know how much all our senators and all our House of Rep, how much they've spent on SUVs and stuff and all in this current crisis that all of us we are facing. The Nigerians are facing, not all of us, because I know they are the executives. They are the one that get all the perks and stuff and all. Yeah. So the LGBTQ, I think they need to tread carefully because there's Sharia in the north.
No, but wait.
There's Sharia in the north.
Wait, I was going to stir the honestness a bit.
Go and try.
I was going to stir the honestness a bit and say that I think what we're doing is not fair a bit because see the way we're kicking against these guys. Like, bruv, in this same Nigeria that we're in, I guarantee you, there is a ton of people who fall within this community, and then they're just folding their hands and looking like God. What am I? See the way the entire universe or the entire country is shouting on me like, I dare not even raise my mouth and say, but what about the LGBTQ clause? What's so wrong with having it in the agreement? Like, are we being fair to the people that fall within this space? Like, they're human beings too.
I think the pushback and the concern that majority of the people that are the Nigerians are pushing back against is seeing what Europe has become now. Is seeing what America has become, where they shove, LGBTQ flag in, children's classes, where they kind of, do parade and they bring children, to the parade and stuff and all and everything. Yeah. These things are not what African culture, embraces and stuff. And, we do a lot of shady things, in the closet, and all, but African culture doesn't celebrate that in the open. Whatever you want to do it. It's like what they say, there's no problem having your party, but I have my reserved rights not to attend or to decline your invitation, and all. Yeah. But what they are saying, this gay LGBTQ stuff is that, we are going to bring it to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Your children will have to take it and stuff. So people are kind of like, no, we don't want this. That's why a lot of pushback is rightfully so too, because, even the Bible says it, our God that created us. I'm using the Bible now because that is my own, spiritual guidance as pertains to, and the God that created me says that I place between you life and death. I admonish you. You can choose it, you cannot choose it. So the God that is sovereign, that is telling me that I can decide to choose whatever I want. Yeah. So it gives me options and stuff. So the LGBTQ cannot come and say, okay, you don't have a choice. You have to accept us.
So are you saying that gay people choose death? Are you saying that gay people choose death?
No, you see,
based on the analogy you just gave.
Now that is subjective. It's subjective because for my own, faith, it doesn't, allow for it. Do you get? So now, if the gay guy says, okay, they are not ruling by my own faith, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that, and but I'm saying like, don't now bring it to my school and saying that I don't have a right to object to it. Like the students, the children now, like their kids and stuff, their words is in school and stuff. And then the LGBTQ will slam it on the wall, and they're saying that everybody would have to, acquiesce and, bow to the flag and stuff. Even America too. I think there are some states now that are saying no more LGBTQ flags, in classrooms and stuff and all. So they too, they are fighting back because now it is not so much of, accommodating us and accept us for who we are. It is not like you are going to, join in our party, either you like it or not, So that for me, that is where my own issues are. And then I know that, Africans pushing back, is justifiable because they are saying like, oh no, we don't want this. This thing.
Do you think
in our
do you think gay people will go to hell?
So,
do you think gay people will go to hell?
Well, that can be a discussion for another time because I know we have other things that we want to discuss. Yeah, because
I was trying to bait you there.
Yeah, I know. You want a what's it called, viral moment.
You're okay, it's fine. First.
No, I'm not afraid, but I just want us to stick by your program. Our program. Yeah. Cool. So that is that. I'm hoping that the Samoa agreement can actually do what it is meant to do, not going into the pocket of elected officials that will embezzle everything, and still go back 40 years later, to go and collect another money, cap in hand. This very shameless set of people that don't even have shame. Yeah. You don't even have shame,
Zero shame.
Where's Yaya Bello? We're still asking Yaya Bello. EFCC says they are going to stop everybody from protesting. Where's Yaya Bello? Before you bring that, rules to the rest of us. Where is Yaya Bello? Yaya Bello, you said Yaya Bello embezzled everything in Kwara. Is it Kwara? Kogi State. He embezzled everything in Kogi. Where is he? We can't find him. And that's how every one of them, when they finish office, they go after them. They will act as if they're doing anything. And then before we know it, it's gone cold.
Yeah.
So we have a right to question what you guys are doing anyway.
And by 2045, please, let's not be signing another Samoa agreement. I think God beg our government people, by 2045, let's at least have known what we are doing, so that we can steer the ship by ourselves.
Well, maybe you'll be governor by then, or maybe you will be 2045. Maybe that's president. That's a long time. Maybe president.
There's nothing God cannot do.
Yeah.
If I was president, I won't be signing no Samoa agreement. That's for sure.
What God cannot do does not exist.
What God cannot do does not exist.
Yeah. So hopefully that is coming up.
Yeah.
We can do better.
Yeah.
And that's always the drive and all. But we know Omojua and, what's his name? Tolu Ogunlesi. We know where they are now. So.
Shades, just shots, man.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's quickly move on. I know we've took a bit of time on that. Let's move on to Kenya protests.
Yeah, my people.
Kenya protesting.
My people in the struggle.
Yeah,
Kenyans.
Mabuye, Kenya.
My Swahilians.
Is it Swahili?
I don't even know.
Mabuye. Who is Mabuye? I think it's South Africa.
What the hell, bro? Is Swahili like the only language they speak in Kenya, though? I don't think so.
I think they have.
They have like other stuff.
They have other languages.
So not just only my Swahili people, my everybody in Kenya. Big ups.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
They had their own coming to Jesus moments where they realized that their elected officials have been dogging them, taking advantage of them, and all. They said Ruto, the new president from Kenyatta, they're asking for loan from IMF. They said they have $80 billion, loan to still, offset, because of all the borrowings and stuff and all. So I think they are making another pitch for another loan. And IMF is telling them that you need to tighten the rope. You guys are spending money. You're not kind of, so how are you going to make money? So government is putting austerity measures, and telling them that they are going to, and also there's been a lot of taxing, that is being done and all. And the guys are like, no, this thing is getting too much. I think they raise, 16% tax on bread, and it was just so much toiletries, and stuff and all, taxing everything and all. And guys are like, yo, you guys are just taxing us. What's happening to you? You that is, legislating and giving us all these things and stuff and all. What's happening? And they said it doesn't really happen like that in Kenya's, protests, history, because majorly it's always from the opposition party, that is always kind of like rallying, and all. And at the end of the day, it's for their own selfish interests and stuff and all. But now it's more like the NSAS protests, the people took their life in their hands and saying like, no, we're not going to take this any longer. And all, sadly, they killed a lot of people. Sadly, a lot of people died and stuff and all, but now I think there's been a lot of concession, the government is coming to the table. I think like 3 or 4 days ago, Ruto was on, X, space, to discuss and stuff and all. And there was a lot of calling out, so they have, dialed back, and all. What do you think, what do you think about what's going on in Kenya?
Yeah. I think first things first, our heart goes out to every Kenyan that lost their life.
Yeah,
in the
sadly,
in the course of the protest.
Yeah.
The information we have is that about over 30 people.
Yeah, over 37
lost their lives. Hundreds injured. And this is the cost for the fight for freedom and the right to make demands from people that lead you, I think. But I want to dial back a little bit and say right now, based on the narrative that's been pushed aside, President Ruto appears to be like the villain, right? Who has eventually bowed to pressure to give the people what they want for.
Yeah.
But if I look back a little and go a bit back into the origin of all of these issues, right? President Ruto inherited the government, even though he was vice president at the time. Anyways, Kenyatta, over the, I think, 10 years that he was president in Kenya, moved their national debt from 11 billion to 75 billion, something like that, right? And then Ruto has inherited an economy that's over $75 billion in debt. And he's been fighting very hard to stabilize the ship. They've renegotiated some refinancing of the loans, right? And what that also means is that aside from them negotiating new terms for payments, they also need to be able to raise some money to pay down a bit of those loans that are due, right? The information is that the government were using about 85% of their tax revenue to service those debts, right? And the IMF has given him a condition to say, listen, you want to refinance your loan, you want to take some extra loans to be able to pay down your debt. We are not going to be comfortable enough to extend this facility to you if we don't have confidence that you can pay. Now, what are the terms that will give the IMF confidence that Kenya can pay its debt? Number one, you need to be able to increase the revenue base of the country or of the government, right? Now, what Ruto has looked at and said, there are two options. Number one, I cut down on public services so that we save money and use the savings to pay the loans, or as guaranteed that we can pay the loans, or we increase taxes so that we can make more money to pay the loan. President Ruto's initial view was that we don't want to cut down on public services, right? Meaning we don't want to down tools. So we're going to try and increase the revenue base by increasing taxes. And that's where the finance bill came in, where it has introduced some taxes on some food items, income tax, all kinds of custom duties, excise duties. And the people have said, no, instead of taxing us even further, you need to cut costs.
Yeah.
And that was their demand, right? Don't tax us so that you can pay your loans or make the IMF happy. Cut down costs so that you can save enough to pay down the loans.
Yeah.
And that's essentially the angle that the protest was led on. And eventually, it prevailed. Yeah. Right? So, but I think that in all of this, aside from the unfortunate incidents of bloodshed, there's one key thing that we can take away from all of this that has happened. The president, even though he was a bit shook by all of that has happened, I'm really impressed by
his responsiveness. Right?
Yes, I'm really impressed by how he was able to allow logic, rationale, and thus overall reasonability to guide his eventual response. At the time, he was going to deploy the National Guard to go and clamp down protesters. And then people said, really? You're going to send a militia on your people? Like, I like the fact that he soft pedaled on that, right? And then sat down and looked at it and said, you know what? Okay, this is what the people really want.
Let me ask you a question.
Let's give it to them.
Let me ask you a question. I think similar thing happened in Nigeria.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you think that we lost an opportunity as a people to, actually demand accountability from our elected officials?
We didn't lose an opportunity.
Okay.
We didn't lose an opportunity because Nigerians came out, Nigerians spoke, Nigerians asked for what they wanted. But their government didn't have a problem with killing them. And then at the time when the Nigerians realized that this government or the government of the day at the time did not have a problem with killing them, they realized that she was real. And then they stepped back. Now, sorry, let me just... Now, one can argue that we taking a step back at the time where we saw that the military literally opened fire, like what happened in Kenya, the military like opened fire on people and killed them. We could have said that was the opportunity for us to press even further. What that would have meant is that more lives would have been lost. We had a government at the time, Buhari didn't seem to care about the outcome of that incident.
No, I mean, to cut you, I mean, I'm not talking of Buhari. I'm talking of this present government. Because I know that when Tinubu came into power, he removed subsidy. Because that's all the whole idea of kind of like cutting all the excesses of government, or not excesses of government, like all the loopholes that are in government and stuff and all that in turn brought more hardship on the people. You know, subsidy away from dollar, you know, brought more hardship on the naira, brought more hardship on the people and stuff and all. And that's the whole essence of maybe not, what's it called, directly the same, but it feels like, okay, it's just money, what's it called, how to save money and how to be more judicious with money. That's the whole essence that Kenya is trying to do. And that's the whole essence that Nigeria was trying to do, you know, with the subsidy removal and stuff and all. But the brunt, most brunt is on the people, you know, and commodities, food stuff and everything has gone completely, you know, I mean, somebody was talking about yam. Yam, like yam 5,000. Like, I mean, 5,000. Yeah. Yam. Like one small tuber like that, 5,000.
Where did the person buy the yam?
I mean, around now.
I need to get that person's plug on.
Okay.
When I bought yam 8.5.
I mean, yam.
And it was like a very slim tuber of yam, 8.5. Just last month. So anybody buying yam 5K now, please hook me up. DM me.
Well, I mean,
I need that.
Yeah, and then I also saw another post. I mean, a Kenyan guy like was calling out Nigeria. I don't know if you saw that post. Was calling out one Nigerian guy like, you guys are not serious. Yeah, the only thing that you guys argue about is Davido and whiskey. You know, and all people are calling their government to account. You are saying, what's it called? And I think, there is really there is no comeback for that.
So here's my thing about this.
No comeback for that.
And I know that some people somewhere are just trying to press Nigerians so that Nigerians can react. I've seen those subtle insinuations that people have put on Twitter, on X, you know, on Facebook, trying to get us to react. The thing is, and for me, one of the biggest learnings that I took from NSAS was that we were clamoring for what we don't want. But we were not clear about what we wanted. So the whole protest was about NSAS. Okay, if you end SARS, what next? What exactly what's the call to action for the government? What are you demanding from the government? Obviously, asking them to end SARS doesn't change anything because the police and security architecture will still remain. So what we should have been pushing for was police reform. So aside from shouting end SARS, the movement needed to have leaders who were very clear about what the movement really wanted to achieve and would have been able to articulate it at the moment when the government says, okay, come to the table, let's sit down and discuss. NSAS, what do you really want? We want police reforms, number one. Number two, we want a system where every person that is wearing the police uniform in Nigeria is given an evaluation to test not only their competency but their character, and every one of them that fails that test is removed immediately from the force. We want better living conditions for the police force in terms of their wage increase and emolument so that they will not have incentive to exploit people. I mean, there has to be tangible requests, demands that you are making so that when you get the chance to get the ear of the leaders, you press their demands. Today, what is going to happen is some people are saying, oh, the cost of living has skyrocketed and we're all folding our hands and looking. What they're trying to do is push Nigerians to go to the street again and start protesting. But this is what will happen. We'll make the same mistake again. We will get to the streets and we will start screaming, the suffering is too much. That is what the shout will be. The suffering is too much. But we will not have a clear, focused voice in terms of what are we demanding. Yes, the suffering is too much, but whoever is going to lead the charge in the protest or whoever is going to have the face of the protest, because there will always be a face of the protest, the foreigners, they need to be able to itemize and articulate the specific things that they want the government to do. Are we asking for them to put the subsidy back? Are we asking for them to defend the naira again so that at least maybe this dollar thing that is 1.5 can even come down to 800, 700, and then the cost of, bro, I wanted to buy a washing machine. They said it's 500,000 naira. Washing machine, $500,000. I don't understand. When it's not that if I'm buying jet, it's washing machine. Do you understand? And all of this is because dollar is 1.5 and they're importing all these things. So if we are going on the protest now, because of what we've seen maybe what has happened in Kenya and we want to demand the same, we need to be clear about what we are asking. We need to be able to articulate specific things that we want the government to do. Do we want them to defend the naira again? Do we want them to go back and put the subsidy back? Are we asking for them to cut down on government and then reduce all the aids? Some senators have like 50 aids. One senator has 50 aids. Senior assistant for photography, junior assistant for media, senior assistant for agriculture, and junior assistant for logistics. One senator has all of these things. What is he doing? What is he using them for? Right? Wow. So we need to be very clear. Itemize your demand so that when you decide to hit the streets and it is your constitutional authority to protest, you don't just go destroying properties and causing a nuisance, and then when the government tells you, okay, what do you want? You just say, no, we are just suffering too much. Help us. No. Be clear about what you want.
Yeah. Part of the things that, I'll come back to what you said, your comments, and part of the things that, the Kenyan guys also talked about was normally before government would implement all these things and keep signing all these things into law was that there was supposed to be robust consultation with the public, and there was supposed to be like daily publications of, okay, this is what we're trying to do, and then there will be dialogue, and then the people can say, okay, this is for the betterment of the people, and then we can go ahead and stop. But they didn't do all that, but like you said, as everybody have seen, Ruto, was able to reason with, his people, and then he came to the table and he was, it's not dialoguing with them and all, but sadly not at the expense of innocent people's lives, and all. And, I think Africans should stop all this nonsense of killing their people just because they want to perpetuate themselves in office. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
And you guys should be ashamed of yourself, and I know Ricky Gervais put a tweet out, a post out on X that was very funny. He said, if you are feeling down or you're feeling bad about life, know that at sometime you're going to die. And as funny as that may sound, or as as funny as that may sound, whatever the case is, it also gives perspective to life. It doesn't matter whatever you're doing and stuff. Life is going to end one day, and you're going to be by yourself, all alone. What are you living life? Why are you embezzling all the money? Africans general, African leaders, you embezzle so much money and all, and your life is miserable at the end of the day, So, the whole essence is, let's make sure that, we can live a better life for ourselves, leave a better legacy for our children, and have something to be proud of, really. Not, like we talked about the Samoa agreement, cap in hand and running, to our masters to come and save us, really. For how long are we going to do that? And also for me, it's more so, for our African leaders to call to reason. You talked about the NSAS, and I know that, the EFCC, we still also talked about it. They are kind of threatening that nobody should go and protest and stuff. And it's still the same thing, just because you are trying to, rid the society of crimes and stuff, financial crimes and stuff, and all. You go into different places now, just beating people up, slapping people. I know they barged into one lady, that one that went viral on the internet, barged into the lady's where she was enclosed herself, and they were just slapping her and all. The lady that is harmless, she can't do anything to you. You guys are like 10 men and all. You are slapping her and stuff, and you want us to just sit back, and be enjoying it, really, and also all these things. At the end of the day, you ask yourself, why are you doing it, and the EFCC chairman, he's been talking too much. He's been talking too much, really. And people are saying like, okay, you are telling us all these things, telling us that Nigeria, the money that they've invested, so, and what are you doing about it? You know, we talked about Yaya Bello. Where is Yaya Bello? Where is Yaya
Bello?
EFCC chairman. Where is your face? Where is Yaya Bello?
Please produce and provide Yaya Bello.
Yeah. You were telling us, spitting fire, that you're going to resign if you don't try the Yaya Bello. No. Where Yaya Bello there now?
Wild. I think a final admonition, and this is specifically to our leaders and our government. You are in office to serve the people. The office of the citizen is the highest office in the land. The moment people gather together in a place and say that they want to protest over an issue, it is because they are trying to make their voice heard about that issue. At that point, government should already take the position of acceding to the people's requests. At no point are you expected as a government or as a leader to mobilize military
against your people
with live ammunition in ridiculous. The guise that you're trying to maintain law and order in a protest.
It's ridiculous.
That is the fundamental basis, first of all, where a lot of our leaders have failed.
But what they also say is that some bad elements have hijacked it.
First of all,
plant them inside.
Yes, you already know that all that is a smoke screen. Do you understand? When people, anything that makes people to come together and sit on protest, it means something is pinching them. And Nigerians need to understand that they collectively are the boss of the politicians. You are your president's boss. You are your governor's boss. You are your local government chairman's boss. You're not supposed to be begging them and hailing them because they gave you 500 naira. And then by the time they greet you, you are feeling like as if you have achieved something because your local government chairman greeted you. No. They're supposed to be giving you monthly reports on what they are doing with the money that's been given to their care. Right? So when Nigerians change their consciousness to understand that they are actually the boss, they will understand that when their president is misbehaving, they have every right to call the president to order and say,
Kenya did.
Bros, that's not what we sent you there to do. It's not to be begging the president to have mercy on them. Say, Shanua, all these funny things. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. It's just like a prince that is begging a servant to give him food. You are a prince. You are the owner of the land. You should be calling your leaders and telling them, Oga, that's not what we sent you there to do.
Yeah.
If it's that's what you want to go and be doing, come down and leave the office.
Yeah, it is our commonwealth. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, it is our commonwealth. So we need that
change of mindset. Exactly. I keep talking about the mindset all the time. In this country, we and I understand that they've subjected us with poverty, with strife, with difficulties. They're making life so difficult so that we can't think straight. But that's why this podcast is here. And that's why we are here to tell you that don't allow what they are trying to do to you to win. You need to snap out of it and understand who you are. As a Nigerian, as a citizen of this country, you have more power than you think. And it is your right to demand that when your leaders are going astray, that you call them to order and you give them ultimatums. If they don't meet the ultimatums, they should vacate the office.
Exactly. Yeah. On that note, we'll go on a break and then we'll be right back so that we can wrap this thing all up.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome back to your sports, at the junction. And, we're just going to wrap it all up. But before then, I'm asking you guys to subscribe. We have, our new, YouTube space, subscribe to us, so that you can get all the juicy stuff and all and everything. All our, content are going to be going out, in all those spaces. So subscribe to, at Funtaqa Junction, right?
Yep. You know what I always
Junction
say,
podcast.
Funtaqa podcast, the Junction podcast is the most diversified and the most fun podcast in the world.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's no holes barred. And then we talk about everything.
No, there was somebody that was doing a what's it called? A pushback. I don't know if you saw it on the page.
Yeah.
That was like, you were asking me, if Ajebo Dani, if it's only Jesus Christ that the guy can, access.
Yeah.
How did you?
I was saying that what makes you so sure that Jesus is the only way, the only thing he needs, right? For his life. It could be someone else. It could be.
Yeah. Funny enough, this person that did the post. I don't know why people do that.
Yeah.
You have my number. You couldn't call me. You couldn't text me via WhatsApp to ask me like, why did I take that route, of not, and all. You just felt the need to just call me out, on my space or in the space, just call me out, and all. Yeah, but I mean, I didn't answer the question because it wasn't the, what's it called? I think, Elliot also tried to do it now. Or in our earlier, when we're discussing and all, I mean, viral moments, you just want to, poke me to just say something and all.
Now. I asked you a simple question.
Like I said,
you chose not to navigate my question.
Yeah, but like I said, I have to stay. Stay.
Yeah, using program as an excuse.
Yeah, I have to stay with the program. Yeah, I have to stay with the program, really.
Whatever makes you happy.
And all. But I mean, I would, like for people that are close to me, that know me very well, if you see anything like that, please, call me up and ask me, why did I do that or why didn't I, respond to that and stuff.
Call him out on social media. Call him out
if
outside.
you do the calling out on social media, I'm going to call you out on social media as well.
Drag him.
Yeah. So
feel free to drag him.
Yeah.
Violence is allowed.
But like I said, if you want us to have the discussion, we can have enough time for us to have that conversation, as it pertains to, some of those questions and stuff. But that is not what we're discussing today. And I want us to stay with the program because we have a time, that we're working with.
All right, Captain.
Yeah. Well, you can also follow us on Twitter at Funtaqa. You can follow us on TikTok.
Funtaqa Junction on TikTok.
Funtaqa Junction Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Funtaqa Junction Podcast. Yeah.
Spotify.
And
for
Spotify,
the audio guys.
Apple Podcasts, and all. You can follow us on all these spaces we've been doing this for like 3 years now.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
And, our YouTube, our video version just kind of like, we're just kind of coming out with that and all. Yeah. So, yeah, if you also, I was talking to my friend, my very good friend, she's Zimbabwean, she lives in the UK. So we're talking and she was like, she's listening to our podcast. That's very cool stuff, and all. Like, she likes our conversation and stuff.
Real
and
talk,
like, you guys keep streaming and keep listening, keep watching, and sharing with your friends and stuff and all. Yeah, because that's how we roll on this side of the aisle, and all. Roll. So we're still going to be doing, exclusive interviews and stuff. There's another, what's it called? It's called Bus Stop.
Right.
Bus stop. So we're going to be doing stops at different bus stops. You're going to figure that out, eventually when we start, that and all. Yeah.
Lots of stuff coming up.
Yeah, a lot of stuff coming up and all.
I like it.
Yeah. That is how we roll. Yeah. Going back, I'm hoping that we can just quickly go through this one.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Elon Musk, is calling out, the battle of the billionaires, Elon Musk called out Bill Gates, and it was like that he hopes that Bill Gates can be tried, because the allegation against Bill Gates is that he rode with Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein has been confirmed to be one of the greatest pedophile or in recent history, one of the worst, not greatest, one of the worst pedophile in recent history. Destroy people's lives, in their innocence, take them and carry them away, and just, and just kind of, have their way with them and stuff and all. So there's been a lot of stuff and all. So Elon Musk kind of called out and was like that he doesn't know why Bill Gates hasn't been tried, or hasn't been brought out. Hasn't been, brought to court, to answer for, that allegations against him, with Jeffrey Epstein and stuff and all.
Yeah.
And what I know for sure is that Elon Musk, you can say that maybe they are fighting themselves as billionaires and what have you and all.
Yeah.
But that's a great allegation against Bill Gates, for Elon Musk to do the calling out, in public like that and stuff and all. Yeah. So, what do you think is going on with that?
Yeah, I think with the Epstein case, it's not much of a secret, really.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of the information around that whole, whatever that was is in open space.
Yeah.
Right. There is flight manifest that shows that, on the Jeffrey Epstein Island, at least a minimum of 20 times, people like Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, and some other prominent names featured on Epstein's private jet that flew to that island and back, right? A minimum of 20 times. So these guys were going to that island, and we don't know what they were going to do there, but they went there at least 20 times. And the allegation today is that on that island, they were shipping in underage girls, and then weird parties were going on where these underage girls were being subjected to things that are
unimaginable.
We can't even use those words, right? So the question is, Oga Bill Gates, what were you doing on the Epstein Island so many times? And the reason why people are calling Bill Gates out is that when the issue was initially put forward to him, he put out a narrative where it seemed like he was like, oh, I only know Epstein on a surface level, right? It's not like as if I really had much to do with him. So if now that, the news has come out that he was involved in all these crazy things, I've distanced myself from him. Like, that's the kind of like defense or narrative is put out. And then people are saying, bros, this manifest is putting your name on the flight to this guy's place at least so many times. You can't say you only knew this person in passing. There has to be a closer relationship between you and Epstein, and then there has to be a reason why you were flying to that island so many times, sorry, I said Bill Clinton. That's the former president of America, right? Okay, fine. I thought I said Bill Cosby.
Right on the money.
Yeah, Bill Clinton. So Clinton's name also appears on that list so many times. A couple of very, 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 very prominent people. Guys, their names are on the flight manifest of the Epstein jet to say these people were conveyed to the Epstein Island.
It's part of the reason why Prince Andrew, that guy,
had
issues and he had to be stepped down and all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Andrew, he was the Prince of, is it England or Wales now?
Yeah.
So, bros, unless you are telling me that Epstein was a business partner, and you guys were doing some business together, you're trying to build some new tool or some new software, I don't know what it is. Your relationship was more than just superficial, right? It was deeper than that. And I guess that's what Elon Musk is trying to say. Like, we need to uncover the truth behind the Epstein case. And then that list we need to have, because it's not enough to say that, because of their names are played on the manifest and they flew there, that means they were involved in anything. They could have been going there for any reason. So that's the defense that these guys still have for now. And that's the reason why we can't start throwing accusations at this point in time. But the story is that there is an actual list that Epstein kept of all the people that visited his island and whatever activities that they were doing. That list has not been made public to today. And guess what? I stumbled across a video that shook me. Apparently, there were a couple of people who had access to that list at some point. Police officers, right? Some in the FBI, some in the normal police department. And then someone did a compilation that showed how every one of those single guys ended up dead.
They will be vanished now.
Ended up dead.
They'll be vanished.
Either they were shot, or they committed suicide. And it's like, these are like actual, like security agencies, FBI agents, police officers. Like within like a 5-year period, they've all been exed. So it's a case of, number one, why is the list not public now? And why isn't there like a public trial to even show us what is going on? Someone is suppressing this information. Number two, people are being eliminated. That's people who have inside information of all of these details are being taken out so that they can't squeal. So all of this is indicative of a very high level cover up. And we don't know what it is they're trying to hide.
Yeah, this guy, Kevin Spacey. I don't know if you know Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey, the guy in House of Cards.
Yeah, he had an interview with Piers Morgan. He was crying like, he's gone bankrupt, and all. I don't even know what the interview was for. Anyway, I guess maybe he just came to quickly look for how to kind of clear his name.
It's too late for that, bro.
Yeah, he was crying like, he doesn't really have anything to do with Epstein. He just flew on this jet.
Was his name on the list?
No, they said accusations. The accusation that he flew on that.
Was there.
Yeah, he said he doesn't really have anything to do there. Yeah. That he just suddenly found himself that what's it called? Epstein was on the plane as well. And because it was a Clinton that invited him, like he said, Clinton that invited him, he felt he was putting, Clinton and the rest of them, he was putting them in not in harm's way, compromising them.
Yeah.
In that sense. Maybe, and, there is a lot that has happened. I don't know if you know about this guy that did Passion of the Christ, that acted Passion of the Christ.
Mel Gibson?
No. The guy.
Yeah,
but it's still him and Mel Gibson that, launched one pedophile movie in recent time. They launched one pedophile movie in recent time that was fought tooth and nail. Hollywood wanted to shut it down and all. As a matter of fact, my boy. Yeah.
Who's your boy?
My boy, yeah. Donald J. Trump. Yeah. He had a screening in his, Miami, in his Florida, that is, his big
Mar-a-Lago
building.
house.
Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
He had a screening there and stuff and all. So Hollywood tried to shut it down and all, but they did a lot of sting operation as it pertains to what is happening within the pedophilia.
Okay, I get what you mean. Okay. So the movie was shedding light on what happened.
More like a documentary,
pedophilia.
like a docu type of,
Okay.
And also they did all that and all and everything. They would try to shut it down. But there is a lot that is happening around that space.
Yeah.
And I like that, like I said, Elon Musk has his, with this chip that is, rolling out.
Neuralink.
Yeah, the Neuralink chip. I don't know, but I like that he's not forcing anybody. He's just saying that they're just launching it out and stuff and all, whatever.
But that's how it starts though.
Yeah, that's how they start. So I'm not really, but I like that he's calling out and he's putting his name, backing his name. Putting his name behind it and saying that these guys should be tried.
Yeah.
And they should actually be, what's it called? Account for what they've done and all.
Yeah.
And all. But for me, I've always had a very, very, I don't like Bill Gates, I'm not saying it because I feel like maybe, but I just like him. There's something about him. I don't know if you've seen him on TV. There's something about him. There's something very, I don't know.
Eerie.
Even his skin.
Some people have said like the way his wife divorced him was so out of the blues,
his wife,
right?
They said part of the reason why they said his wife divorced him was because of this Epstein stuff.
Yeah. She, it was like so random. Like she just like, maybe she saw something that spooked her and she just like, bruv. They said, because he was having some affairs in the office with some colleagues, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, you've been married to this guy for 40 years. It's not some affair that will now make you now decide after 40 years or so that you want to leave him. I think she stumbled on information that spooked the living daylight out of her. And she was like, I gotta get out of here.
Have you seen Gates' interview with his wife, where someone is interviewing them and stuff?
No, I haven't.
Very spooky.
Zero chemistry.
She's always looking like, what's he saying? And all.
Weird stuff.
But that, it is what it is,
But that's on that, so just to finalize, we won't talk about it now because of time, but maybe later on. I just want to understand, I'm a bit confused, what is the obsession with grown-up men and children? The whole idea of pedophilia, how is it even a thing that grown-up men see kids and be attracted to them and want to do things with them?
Do you know
is
that?
Is it a mental problem?
Do you know that
is this a normal thing that happened that I can't get over it, to be honest?
Do you know that? Do you know that in recent time, I think it started from Hollywood, started from America. They coined a category, minor attracted persons.
God damn.
They coined it.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, so the outrage was so much. What are you guys saying? Minor attracted person. What does that mean? Are you guys mad? Are you guys gone mad? So they just dialed it down. I know. So the question, begs the question, like you said. What is it about?
Yeah, I'm curious.
So when Nigeria now says they are pushing back against Samoa, so you now see the reason why? Can you see the reason why we're pushing back?
Because now from clap dance they start.
Yeah, now
from clap dance they start.
Now so, so it is what it is. I'm hoping that if Bill Gates has done anything bad, I'm hoping that the full wrath of the law will be meted at him.
Reg, do you have a vendetta against Bill Gates? Did this steal your baby?
There's this doctor, she's female, was talking about, she wrote a book, she's Indian. There was this thing about vaccine in India.
Yeah.
They said there was a category of some people that were giving vaccine and 400,000 of them were, were what's it called? They had side effects. They were affected. They couldn't walk. They couldn't do. I mean, these things are reported.
Yeah.
That reported, and all. So she did a comprehensive report on Bill Gates, and that's the reason why I said, whatever we're saying on our podcast, please try and do your own research, verify. Ask around. People that are. I'm not talking of mainstream because there's a lot of censoring.
Filtering.
Yeah, a lot of censoring that's going on mainstream. Excuse me, a lot of censoring that's going on mainstream media and stuff. If you really want to know, go on X, I mean, you can follow Elon Musk because Elon Musk repost some of these, damning reports and stuff and all. So you can see all these things that are happening. And these are the things that they were censoring, they were suppressing at all the times that Elon Musk didn't buy Twitter. It was until they bought Twitter that all these things were coming out. So for me, when you ask that if I have his vendetta against, Bill Gates, it's because of all the things that I've read. I've read a lot of stuff about him I'm kind of like,
right.
And that's the reason, also the reason why I felt like the GMO thing, we shouldn't bring it to Nigeria because Nigeria will have a good climatic, God has blessed us with good climatic condition and stuff that we can grow our food. We can actually have our own organic, produce and stuff and all. So we don't need much of that, If our doctors can confirm, if our doctor can cross-check and confirm that it's okay, then that's fine, But we shouldn't have this superimposing type of, and then we just take it and we shouldn't ask any question. We have to ask questions and stuff and all.
Yeah.
So for me, that's my whole,
all right. First.
campaign, with, Bill Gates. So finally, we are going to go back to your girlfriend.
Hey, man,
your
nigga, don't put
girlfriend.
me in trouble.
You had
Don't put me in trouble.
you had a moment to kind of share your appreciation of Tems.
Yeah.
The last episode you had your moment. You really showed like you really like Tems.
Yeah, Tems.
For real.
Terms and conditions.
100. You said 100. I love Tems.
Yeah.
100.
We don't hear you now. What happened? No set me up, bros.
But Tems has gotten an award though.
Yeah.
Gospel award.
My girl, she won it. When you are so good, that the people that organize awards say it doesn't even matter the category, just collect the award. We don't care.
She won gospel award though. Let me, 2024 BET awards, gave the gospel, say it's gospel inspirational arts category, and it was given to Tems.
For which song?
Me and You.
Only me and you, me and you.
I don't even heard that song. I've not heard it before. Guys in the category, Shirley Caesar, award for All Glory, Kirk Franklin, All Things, Halle Bailey, Anger, Cece Winans, Come Jesus, Come, Erica Campbell, Do You Believe in Love, Maverick City Music, Naomi Rain, and Chandler Moore, God's Problem, and Kirk Franklin, Try Love. And the award goes to, drum roll, Tems.
Temilade.
Me and You.
Temilade Tems.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think first things first, Kirk Franklin and Cece Winans, their stomach will be churning so bad by the time that award was called out. Because tell me why people who have spent like 20 years of their career doing gospel music will be in a category, and then someone that sings Me and You wins gospel / inspirational award over their heads. Like, are we joking here? Are we whining? Really? How is that song inspirational or gospel? Like, the committee that went around voting for the award, were they smoking weed or what was really going on? I really want to know what the thought process was like when the committee sat down.
Category, don't forget.
And what Christian
so
category?
They must have been in the spirit.
I want to know what they were on when they all sat down together and debated, because they would debate, they would argue, they would now vote. What was really, did somebody serve them like Hermish with Forge and some spike to some things when they were voting? Because let's call a spade a spade. It's a travesty that they've done that, right? I like Tems, I love Tems, but giving her that award for that song, using the word mismatch is an understatement. It was even a mistake that the song is in the category in the first place. And I think Patrick Doyle, the legendary actor had come out to say, listen, people should not scream too much that this has happened. We should be aware that in the entertainment industry, especially in the western part of the world, they serve a whole different God.
Yeah.
That determines who wins and who loses. So gospel artists should not be looking for validation from all these guys so that they can feel like as if their craft is making sense. They should just completely leave these award guys and focus on their gospel, focus on their music that is helping people's lives and, you know, changing people's circumstances, and leave the BET and all these guys alone and don't cry about whatever it is they've done.
Yeah, but what's even the craze with Nigerians and, what's it called? And, always looking for these, you know, I think we talked about it before. We talked about it on our podcast.
Yeah.
Where Nigerians are always, especially Nigerian artists, are always more like, you know, and there's this amazing, and this thing is amazing actually. You know, we talked about the Samoa, where we go, you know, just give us. It's the same thing with award though. Yeah. Can you see? Yeah. It's exactly the same thing with award too. We go there like, oh, we want your award and stuff. And we know, I mean, you know, part of one of what's it called? Nicest song. Yeah. Don't doubt me. I'm going to bring you Grammys. That's what he said. Yeah. You know, more like a brag rights. You know, I'm going to bring you Grammys. Though he didn't bring us Grammys anyway. Nah, but some of them, what's it called? Who gave us Grammys?
Burna Boy gave us Grammy. Whiskey gave us Grammy.
They give us
Tems,
Grammys.
Yeah.
So I think it's more so like, let's just specify them. Okay, yeah, take your Grammys, you know, and all and everything. So for me, and then you also know that, the interview that was heard all over the world, you know, the Club Shay Shay, and Cat Williams,
yeah,
he talked exhaustively about, comprehensively rather, about what is happening in Hollywood, you know, and all, talking about the judgment coming. We know about the PDD, you know. We know about the PDD's case. Yeah. You know, when they want to talk about no homo now, they say no Diddy.
Yeah, no Diddy.
No Diddy. You know, so there is a lot of things going around there. So Nigerians, artists, Nigerian, you know, actors, Nigerian, you know, our award should be enough for us, you know. And I know that, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's 2 times now that they've done hip hop award outside of Nigeria.
Yeah, Hip TV.
That is shameful. This Ayo guy.
Yeah.
He needs to bring the award back to Nigeria. He needs to bring the award back to Nigeria. I don't know what you guys are looking for everywhere. You know, award that's supposed to be for us. I know you take it to Atlanta. I don't know what you guys are looking for. I know. I don't know whenever America has brought any award to Nigeria or UK has brought any award to Nigeria and stuff. I don't know. And I think it's this complex thing, really. You know, we should stop all this nonsense that we're doing. Bring the award back here. It's our award. Give us our own award. Let us enjoy. Let us love our own award, you know, so that we don't, fall within that, okay, just give it to them category, you know, at BET, at Grammys, at, what's it called? Oscars, you know, what have you and stuff and all. Let us enjoy our own award. We are first an independent state. Let us enjoy our own awards. And then the Tems, lady.
Yeah.
I don't know how you just threw her under the bus so easily. I thought you were oozing and blushing and going on all about that.
No, but you know, I
told you already. I told you already. I'm kind of like,
I told you already last week or 2 weeks ago. The fact that I love Tems doesn't mean that if I see her today, I'm going to be losing my shit, right? Like, I look at the eye and be like, what's good? Like, I can still keep my senses and be rational, right? So, as much as I like her, the truth is she has no business winning the award for best gospel / inspirational act or music with me and you. Like, bruv, listen to the lyrics of the song. I know you don't really listen to this kind of people. If you play the lyrics back and you read it,
the lyrics
there's nothing gospel or inspirational about me and you. It's almost like a seductive song. So tell me how that wins it, right?
That's a perversion.
And it's going back to what the great Patrick Doyle said, where he said,
the satanic,
this industry is already, these guys worship the devil, really. Yeah. So gospel artists shouldn't be looking for validation from these guys.
Exactly.
Right? And it's down to the perversion again, like you said, and it's seeping in more and more. And my fear for Tems is, her career has exploded exponentially in such a short time. In 3 years, she's won a Grammy. She's done collaborations with people like Beyonce, Drake, Future, right? She's thinking about doing something with Rihanna soon, right? So it's like the keys to the kingdom is being handed over to her. And the question is, what do you think is at play when you see talents, rise so fast in such a incredibly very complex and difficult terrain like the entertainment industry? The question is that who is sponsoring you? Up? Yes. So there's something they call an industry plant, right? Which is the guys
exactly what Cat Williams talked about.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah. Industry plan. Like the guys that control the pieces in the chessboard, they just pick someone and say, you know what, we'll just put use you as the beacon that sends out the message to the people that we want, and then we'll give you all the success, not the fame, not the money that you want. I'm really hoping that they're not propping Tems up for that, because they know that she's a new sensation in the Nigerian space. Her sound is unique. She can reach out to a whole new sort of generation with that kind of music. They're trying to teach her how to be a bit more sexy, sway hips, wear revealing dresses. This was someone that used to wear baggy jeans back in the day. I was afraid to even show from her waist down in her music videos. Now, she's bearing all out for the cameras.
Okay. I was even going to ask, like, she's collecting the, Gospel Awards. What she was wearing, I'm like, that doesn't even represent gospel.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she's kind of plumpy. She has that, and then everything is kind of like just oozing in your face and stuff and all.
Just right there.
Cat Williams also did another interview with, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And he talked, comprehensively also about, Baphomet.
Yeah.
Where Hollywood is propping it up and all.
Absolutely.
And in recent time, where they are doing Grammys, you have, what's this guy that was, that played the devil, that had, it was a devil, what's it called? Presentation that he did, and all. And he was wearing maybe like a pants.
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X is another one.
Okay.
There's another guy. One guy. He was, like you said, he's Hollywood,
Okay.
And all. He was a very cool, guy, and all.
Yeah.
But before you know it, the guy just went crazy, started dressing like devil and stuff and all.
Yeah.
And that's what
look at someone like Sam Smith as well.
Exactly. It was Sam Smith I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sam Smith I was talking about.
Sam Smith. He's completely lost the plot.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely.
So, like you said, begs the question. Tems, what's up? What's going on?
What's going on, Tems? Yeah. What's going on? Talk to me.
Yeah,
you're good. Are they putting pressure
on you?
It's good.
We
can say no.
We know about P. Diddy. We know about P. Diddy.
Yeah.
No Diddy. We know about him and stuff. We know the guy, what's it called? The situation that is around him now and stuff and all. And damning allegations as well.
Yeah.
And all. So it's not about the fame, I believe that a lot of people love Tems. I've not really listened much of her music, but I know that people talk about her a lot and stuff and all. I think that should be good for you, should be enough for you and stuff. You don't need all those,
you know what's so scary?
Yeah.
You can lose all of that in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
If you don't play game.
Exactly.
Sorry, if you don't play ball.
They'll take it away from you.
Yeah. So Tems and all of these rising artists and what they do is like into secret societies, right? Illuminatis and all these things. When I was growing up, I was always hearing about them. And then you will see some people try and, discard. They talk about the Illuminati, Baphomet, like as if it's just conspiracy theories. But the truth is that there's no smoke without fire, right? The Freemasons, the Illuminatis, all these groups are real. They exist, right? Somehow they've been able to quell all the noise that was about it in the early 2000s. Now we don't really talk about it that much. But the truth is that the secret societies, they exist. They have where they get their powers from. And they know that music and entertainment is the best way to reach a mass crowd, right? Like a massive range of people, and you can get them to, think the way you want. You can program them to understand or see things the way you want them to. And every day they are looking for people that they can use as a conduit to reach out to these guys. So when you see a fast rising artist or a musician or an actor that's coming up, they look at them like, okay, this person fits the profile, right?
Yeah.
And then we can use this person to reach out to this demographic of people in this location, right? And when they bring you in, don't forget, when you come in as an artist, you're already gaining some momentum.
Yeah.
So you already have a couple of people who know you, who roll with you, who like your music. But when you come in, they now expose you to like a whole larger market, a whole new world of fans, shows, money, luxury.
They get you in the door.
Yeah. When you take that step into the door and you put pen to paper and you agree, you sign that deal, right? You essentially enter a contract where there's no going back. Because the moment you say you don't want to do it again, guess what? You're not only going to lose the new stardom you have, even the small one that you gathered when you're up and coming, you lose that too.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going all the way to ground zero.
Yeah. I mean, reminds me of what Cat Williams talked about Kevin Hart as well. You know, and it was exactly like you painted exactly what happened. And that's always what happens with, I mean, you getting bought over. And I mean, part of the people that were talking with, that were kind of talking when they were trying to share their experiences about Diddy was when he told them like he's going to make them, you know, and those guys, I mean, I know of some artists, like 3 of them like that, were like, they're going to make us like, what do you mean by that? Like,
they're going to make you rich.
And those guys now just backed out, like, you know, like he's told them like the next award, they were going to get the next award.
Yeah.
You know, and also, I mean, my guy, I mean, of, blessed memory, Kobe.
Yeah.
You know, I know when Kobe finished, when he retired and stuff and all, he did, Dear Basketball. You know, it was an animation and all, narrating basketball and all. And the next, Oscar award, he got it. You know, I was like, nah.
Oscar award.
He got Oscar.
Kobe Bryant
got Oscars. I was like, nah. I know Kobe Bryant as a basketballer.
Yeah,
I know that.
Kobe Bryant has an Oscar.
But, he has an Oscar award. He has an Oscar. That's what I'm saying. It's proximity. You know, if you can get in the door, they will make you, they will tell you, they will give you all those, you know, texts and all and everything. So, and that also, what's it called? Now brings it, this award thing, award craze that we always, if you have the connection, if you have the network, they will give you awards. Do you get? So it's not necessarily about the awards. You know, you should be good enough in what you can do in your crafts and all. I mean, let's not even go there. We can, let's not go there. So for me, you know, Nigerian artists, let us enjoy what we have our own awards at home. Stop all this nonsense. IB TV taking awards out of Nigeria. It's ridiculous. It's even senseless, really. You know, let our awards be here. Let us have our awards here. And so that's why I like what Kunle is doing, you know, when it comes to projecting who we are as Africans, you know, and stuff and all and everything. It's what about, I mean, that is what it's all about, really. You know, we should embrace our culture. Let's embrace our culture and be proud of it. And we are the only one that can give the award because we are the only one that knows how to interpret our culture. Yeah. Really. So, I think
on the final note of that one, to our upcoming artists and those ones that are very, very prominent and have high potential, I think that my advice to you would be to count the cost and look a bit forward, right? And think about what matters most to you in your journey into exploring your craft, right? And the reason why I say that is there comes a time when you begin to garner some momentum and you start getting some offers. You start getting some kind of deals, right? Don't be in a hurry to accept certain deals. Don't be in a hurry to sign away your future because of what's being promised to you today. Take some time, surround yourself with a team of people who have your interest at heart so that you can think a bit more into the future and you don't get yourself into a contract where you're essentially selling your soul and you can't back out of it. I recall a particular artist, Bryson Tiller, right? Bryson Tiller is an American singer. There was a time when Bryson Tiller was on the up and up, right? He sings R&B and people were beginning to love him. Like this guy was on the trajectory to becoming like the next Chris Brown, that kind of like young artist sensation. And all of a sudden we didn't see much about Bryson Tiller anymore. He just went ghost. And then a few years later when he resurfaced and it was even a story. And I'm going to summarize what the story was. The story was essentially the big guns called him, gave him a deal, an offer. He looked at the offer, realized what that offer meant, and he says, no, thank you. I ain't doing that. Because that means I'm selling my soul. I'm selling my soul to the devil, basically. And it's like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna run my shit as an independent, right? And clearly, Bryson never really hit those heights, right? He remained as an independent artist. He has his own small crowd, people that, play with his, that roll with his music, buy his music. And he's decided that that's good enough for him, right? So Bryson Tiller still does music. It's not going to go mainstream because the big distribution companies are going to distribute it. So he's not going to be a guy raking $40 million a year and all that, but he's fine, pursuing his craft and doing his own thing. So to our artists out there, you need to know early, where are your boundaries, right? Yeah. What are you going to compromise on? And what are you not going to compromise on? Yeah. Because I assure you, if you're not well grounded foundationally on those early, when those deals come, you're not going to have the backbone to say no. Right? Yeah. You're going to take it. And then the biggest mistake you can do is to take it and say you don't want to do it again. Yeah. There's no going back.
Yeah.
It's not going back.
Yeah, it's on that note that I'm going to give, unsolicited shout out to, Johnny Boy Drill. And, Johnny Boy Drill has been doing well for himself.
Yeah.
And, I think he's one of those guys that, people that are looking to come up or that are coming up, can look to emulate. And embrace, because I don't think he has all those drama around him.
Yeah.
He's a cool-headed guy.
Yeah.
He's got lovely, listenable songs, that people can actually vibe to and stuff and all. And, I like him. I like that,
absolutely.
He professes, his faith, doesn't shove it in your face, but he maintains, his level head and stuff and all. And, non-solicited, like I said, it's not like it's,
free PR.
Yeah, unsolicited, and all, but
free PR.
Yeah,
Johnny Drill.
Like Johnny Boy Drill,
Okay.
Yeah, Johnny Boy Drill. It's on that note that we call it. I don't know. It's there.
Call it a day. Call it a day.
The final, what's it called? You want to share?
Guys, subscribe to our YouTube if you like our content. This is how we roll. Real talk, Funtaqa Junction. We hear every other week or every week. And, there's no holds barred, right? We like to have conversations that are very wide ranging. We like to task ourselves on topics that a lot of other people shy away from, but we chest it and we bring it to your screen so that, we can provoke some kind of new thinking and provoke some kind of, different mentality and mindset and how you say things. And we don't want to be restricted. So that's why the conversations are very broad. And we do hope that you enjoy the content. And if you do, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, so you can get more of our content, because we'll be rolling it out like Eba and Ewedu every other day.
Yeah. Like my South African friend Sivu will say, Sobonana Kusasa.
Sobonana Kusasa. Ciao.